It gives me an immense pleasure to talk on one of the important lecture of refresher course in geography organized by Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, National Mission on Teachers and Teaching Learning Center, Ramanujan College, University of Delhi, in collaboration with Gramin Arts Commerce Science Mahavidyalaya, Vasant Nagar, Kotigar, and Sambhaji College, Murud. Both colleges are affiliated to SRTM University, Nanded. So it's my great pleasure to discuss with all the delegates regarding one of the basic issues of our subject, and which is called as emerging subject at present scenario. Today's topic of my discussion is recent trends in tourism. Myself, Dr. Shivraya Adavitot, Professor and Head, Department of Geography, C.V. Khedagi, Vishweshwar Science, Raja Vijaysingh Commerce, and Raja Deshe Arts College, Akkalkot, Solapur district, Maharashtra. Dear friends, if you look to these two images on screen, one is speaking about incredible India, and another one is about the rural scenario that we can call as the rural tourism. Here, I would like to share some of the basic concepts of tourism, and in that connections, I am going to discuss my entire speech in following points. Number one is geographical aspects. As we know, tourism is the event or phenomena, or we can call man-made phenomena, which plays on geographical aspects. When we are talking about geographical aspects, it is related with economic, social, and cultural aspects also. To build tourism industry in our country, the role of government, both central and state government, their policies, along with these government role and their policies, non-government organizations and their role in the development of tourism is also very important, and therefore I decided to speak with you today on geographical, economical, social, cultural aspects, side by side, role of government and NGOs. Let us see the concept of tourism, or we can call it a modern definition. As we know, tourism is a temporary movement of people to destinations outside their normal place of work and residence. Those citizens who are living in their own place and they are living for more than 24 hours, they are called as a tourist. And they are giving some activities or conducting some activities during their stay in those destinations and the facilities created to cater to their needs. Here it is important to know that tourism is a phenomena where citizens or residents always go for another destination and they enjoy the facilities available in particular destinations. Along with this definition, World Tourism Organization has also defined tourism. It means that activities of person traveling to and staying in a place outside their usual environment, and that residence for not more than one consecutive year. And the purpose for this is leisure, business, and other purpose, and not related to the exercise of an activity remunerated from within the place visited. This is a WTO which clearly mentioned about the definition of tourism. Tourist, one can easily identify. Come to the next important part, relationship between tourist generating areas and regional destination areas. Tourist generating areas, those areas where tourists are attracting, and destination where the places are located. In between, the three activities are going on. One is departing tourist, usual person moving from one place to another place and again returning to their destination and native place. Departing and returning, in between there is a transit. Suppose a tourist is traveling from 200 kilometers, 300 kilometers, or even 500 kilometers. In between, he took rest, and the rest place is called the transit place. It is also important for the tourism development point of view. So this concept we can remember or keep in mind. These two, departing tourists, returning tourists, and transit. These two are very important for tourism development. Then coming to our discipline, geography and its role in tourism development. As we know, tourist places are located on the earth, and particular earth locations are very popular for tourist destination. And these two, when we combine the to each other, it gives the overall development effect of particular place, state, nation, and global level. What we generally learn about in geography, one is physical environment, another is human environment. And it is a triadic balance of nature, physical environment and cultural environment, and man is there and he is always making his regional adjustment. It is very important. Any environment place, man today is wish to move from his own place to even in Himalaya, Amarnath, or in Antarctica, people are moving for their pleasure purpose. This trinity balance is very important, and we have to keep in mind for the development of tourism. What we study in geography? Science, geography is nothing but science of aerial variations of the world. We know regional distribution is our key area, key word, and it is a very important concept in geography, and today we are accepted this one. Second part of this one, it is geography is nothing but science of entire world along with human population. We are living on the earth, and there is interaction between physical environment and human environment is going on at a global level also. Physical environment is nothing but, we know as a geographer, mountain, plateau, plain areas, climatic aspects, atmosphere. Again, it is divided into three: tropical, temperate, and torrid zones. After having brief of physical aspects of geography, we come to the very important part of human development, or we can call it as human civilization. For the development point of view, I use these two important words. This one image gives the human life in the old civilization that is called the cave culture, and now people are living in ultra modern age that is called as digital age or space culture. This the human development journey explained by these two images, and we can understood how fast we are moving one area to another area, and therefore on the face of the development, all we know very well. Once upon a time we are having riverside settlements, but now we are having vertical settlements. This is the development of human being on the earth's surface, and it is because of the development of technology, scientific temper of human being, how they develop their self, and they are concerned towards all these things. As a geographer, we always study the spatial patterns of interaction between human beings and their physical environment. And this is also important part. That is the interaction between human being and physical environment we consider for the tourism development point of view. Then coming to the important basics of tourism is the tourism, how it is helpful to removal of the poverty. This is important. From that point of view, the central government is working on that pro-poverty approach. Later on, we are discussing about that one. You see, what tourism is giving to a common man, it is a source of livelihood. Non-farm livelihood opportunities are there. Pro-poor growth is taking place. Revitalization of local culture, preservation of traditional skills, education and training, development of small and micro enterprises, healthcare, infrastructure services, sustainable environment management, cooperative social responsibility, partnership for development, access to market for the poor, reduction in isolation, growth and diversification in marginal or remote areas, job, employment, and empowerment. These are the areas where a common man is looking forward for the development of tourism. As a geographer, we must know these are the areas where a human being will get opportunity for their own development. Okay, this is what. Then how the geographical knowledge is applicable to the tourism point of view. Uh, you know, as a Maharashtra, we are having a history of Emperor Shivaji Maharaj, and all the forts built by Shivaji Maharaj is on hilltop locations, and we know the how he used the geographical knowledge for the his security, his purpose to save the life of the population at that time. This is one of the important fort in Maharashtra, Janjira. This is Haldighat areas. These are the important places where we can apply our geographical knowledge. Still today we are having such important things. Now coming to the development part of our discussion, as we know our geography deals with, that is we always talking about standard of living, quality of life, study of location, distribution of spatial organization, economic activities across the earth. Local to global, we are talking about either in social geography or in economic geography or in cultural geography. We are always talking about these development aspects. So if there is economic, human economic systems is there, and therefore economic policies, as we know after LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization, there are enormous changes is taking place, and that too in private sector. So these various things we must understood from the development point of view. Now coming to the important part, that is geopolitical facets, geopolitical things. When we are talking about tourism point of view, what is geopolitical? It is a study of both the spatially uneven outcomes of political process and the ways in which political processes are themselves affected of spatial structures. We know the border issues are there, and due to border issues, the tourism hampers sometimes. Even if take the example when the Pakistan and the India, the relationships are not so good, then this Kartarpur Sahib destination located in Pakistan, it is Punjab, the Sikh population always goes to Kartarpur. This is border issue, and therefore we are talking about geopolitical passage. This is one example I am putting in front of you. Then tourism, geopolitical elements, spiritual. All hilltop locations are located on these hilltop areas. When we are not having good environment, political environment, I am talking about in Jammu Kashmir, then tourism hampers at Jammu Kashmir area. Sometimes the devotees are moving to Amarnath Yatra, Vaishno Devi, this Char Dham Yatra, due to the unsecured places, politically unsecured. These tourist places are totally hampered due to these geopolitical facets. Now, what is the scope for tourism? As a country, we know our strength is unity in diversity. It is most important strength of our country, and we as a geographer define the spatial nature of this diversity, where we identify the areas of diversification, that is religion, language, dressing pattern, art, various dance forms, music. These are the areas where we as geographer clearly mentioned, and we have to utilize. These are the product, and we have to sell it for the tourism point of view. Compared to North India, South India, East, West India, each and every part of our country, we are having different in all kinds, but we are united. And this unity in diversity is our strength, and we can utilize for our tourism point of view. Then coming to the next one, economic growth and job creation is a key driver of our industry. So what tourism is giving us, and we can call it the key for economic growth. In what way? That is fastest growing economic sector. That is smokeless. It is called as smokeless industry, and it has significant impact on trade, job creation, investment, infrastructure development, and social inclusion. These points are very important. As a geographer, we must talk on these issues. How tourism is helping in investment field, in building infrastructure, social inclusion. These are the areas we have to talk about and explain the importance of these things. Tourism is a major source of employment, as we know, and it is a labor-intensive industry. And we always talk about this multiplier effect of employment. This is economics and commerce. People always talk about this multiplier effect. We geographers also talk about multiplier. Suppose one person gets the job for tourism, he directly, indirectly gives the jobs to another 7 to 10 persons. This multiplier effect we have to calculate and put in a research form. And therefore, it is our duty. We have to write to the government. Tourism can generate resources for conservation of cultural and natural heritage, and it has huge potential to make positive contribution to sustainable development goals. As we know, in just this year, our Prime Minister, Honorable Narendra Modi, has explained the importance of Atmanirbhar Bharat, realizing full potential of tourism. That also we have to take the opportunity of this one. We are making ourselves self-reliant, and the PM is also expecting from us as academicians. We have to put this issue from tourism point of view, how we are making ourselves Atmanirbhar, and this COVID-19 has given an opportunity to build ourselves, and as they call about vocal to local, this is our self-reliance. And after COVID-19, we go through the newspapers of last month and this month. All major tourist destinations in our country is overcrowded. This one image is taken from Char Dham Yatra, Kedarnath Yatra, which is totally fully crowded, and now they are saying not to come to this Char Dham Yatra. We have to stop the Char Dham Yatra because there are various problems are created due to the unexpected number of tourists. Coming to this one more important event from the last year, we have started Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. We are celebrating 75th years of our independence, and we are activating India in part 2. What is the expectation? That is, as a India, we are emerging as a superpower of the world, and the tourism industry is helping to enhance India's soft power. And this is global opportunity for India, and our national prioritization is prerequisite. And therefore, tourism is very important. And from that point of view, our central government last year, 2021, they announced the national tourism policy from a holistic framework for tourism development. Remember, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, it is nothing but we are moving towards activating India in part 2. Then coming to the what is our strength? These images itself explain about our strength, geocultural aspects. These images, as we know, familiar with all these images, and these are the cultural aspects. Coming to the policy factor, what is the vision of the policy 21? To transform our tourist destinations to provide a world-class visitor experience, making India one of the topmost destinations for sustainable and responsible tourism. This policy explains what we are expecting. We are transforming our destinations by making world-class facilities to the tourists across the world. And our duty is to give them sustainable life at the destination, and we behave as a responsible tourist at tourism destinations. And one important network, that is road transport network, is making a very huge miracle in our country, and we know these mega highways are building by the Transport Ministry. Honorable Nitin Gadkari ji is taking very serious efforts regarding these road lines and to make tourism industry very faster growth in that sector. The goal of the policy is very clear: to make India one of the top 5 destinations in the world, not 100, 15. It is top 5 destinations, and the international arrivals we are expecting, and the international tourism receipts from the money or cash we are expecting from the tourism sector by 2030. It is our goal to become ourselves as a 5 top destination countries in the world. For that purpose, the positive aspect of objectives are very clear. It is a skilled workforce we required, and therefore, as we know in our curricula, final year students we are teaching various skill-based courses. Travel tourism is one of the skill-based course we are teaching our graduate students. This is from this policy matter. Then we are giving opportunity to private sector investment, and also PM appeal to our NRIs, non-resident Indians. You have to send 5 foreign personalities or 5 foreign citizens to our country to see the India, and we are making India as a top 5 destination. We have to making cultural responses, preservation, and enhance our resources of our country. Then we assure about inclusive development of tourism in the country side by side also. And I just now mentioned about the pro-poverty approach. These are the strategic objectives of policy just now announced by our tourism ministry. And what tourism sector must be accorded priority by central government, ministry, state governments, and local bodies. They are expecting tourism not only create jobs in the tertiary sector. Important thing is it creates jobs in tertiary sector, that is service sector, but it also encourages growth in the primary sector and secondary sector in sectors also. And therefore, tourism is a global opportunity that one can not be ignored. The relationship between tourism industry, and tourists, we must understand this also. This economic dimension point of view. That is, tourism is always supply side tourist industry and demand side tourist industry. We must put this issue in our mind as a geographer. We must concentrate about this economic issue also. Then coming to the point, why India? If someone asks, foreigner asks to you, why you come to India? We must answer these are the circles. Low cost, the cost of living, and our expenditure is very low cost, less waiting time for e-visa, moving one place to another place, world-class quality, personalized services, rich cultural heritage, more or less. We are concentrating all these 5, and therefore we must insist. These are the important strengths of our country, and you must visit to our country. These are the positive impacts of tourism, foreign exchange earning, contribution to government revenue, employment generation, infrastructure investment, contribution to local economy. That is important. Contribution to local economy, it means we are moving towards the pro-poverty approach. So for that purpose, we have to build infrastructure. That to build infrastructure, investment is required either from private sector, public sector, or public-private sector. Highways, airport, urban infrastructure, power, public sector. Hotels, travel agencies, tour operators, dealers, handicraft shops, private sector. Both private and public, BOT roads, airports, resorts, heritage, circuit developments, web portal. These are the initiatives for the development of tourism sector. Infrastructure is required, and the government is wish to develop in this way. Then one can want to study in depth about tourism for the business perspective. They must concentrate on marketing, management, and finance. These are the issues where one can concentrate. To promote this new one, Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat, as we talk about unity in diversity, we are looking separate for one culture to other culture, traditions, national sports. We have to share best practices to across the globe, and we promote this issue, Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat. Then only tourism development is moving fast. Otherwise, it requires time to develop. After knowing all these basics of tourism, then what is the role of our government part of it as a citizen of country? Sustainable tourism is very important. 2030 Millennium Development Goal is very clearly mentioned that the sustainable development goals in biodiversity conservation, land use, energy, water use, they must be aligned with this 2030 SDG goal. For their purpose, greenhouse gas emission and waste reduction is also the prime duty of citizens of our country. We have to concentrate our contribution to the sustainable tourism development. And for that one, green tourism is a new concept, tourism activity that lead to sustainable tourism, and that refers to green economy. Therefore, sustainable tourism is very important, and we have to take this responsibility as a host of the as a host. We have to take this responsibility of green tourism. And what the government is wishing to establish, set up a national green tourism mission. Government is setting up, and their objectives are very clear: to mainstream sustainability in tourism sector, to encourage climate action in tourism sector, responsible tourism, promote inclusive tourism, and to align tourism development with sustainable development goals 2030. So the inclusive growth and local communities engaged of local residents and communities, the integration of local business in the tourism value chain. Suppose the taluka level destination is there, it is the duty of the local policymakers, local administrator to make combination of all these things, and we have to develop the competitiveness. Then we have to use digitalization and new technologies, smart destinations, and approach towards competitiveness, sustainability, and governance. These are the duties of ours. Then what is tourism mission? Tourism mission, for that to develop cross-domain generic building blocks, tourism domain data. Tourism domain data, you see, still we are making efforts to collect the data of tourists, but so many tourist destinations are not keeping the data of tourist arrivals in their destination. So development of unified tourism interface, user system, digital environment of life cycle of tourist journey, and enabling smart tourist destination. The machine, there is the government wish to develop tourism in like this. And most important is tourism and hospitality, a key sector for employment where skilled mission is required. So trained and skilled manpower is required not only to meet the demand of tourism and hospitality sector, but the overall development of nation. We need skilled employment, skilled manpower, and therefore this new education policy, through this government insisting us to give the training to the students, one or the other skills, and they earn the credit, and for that purpose they build academic bank credit. It is on a platform now. As we're talking about National Digital Tourism Mission Mode, there is digitalization, innovation, technology. So this digitalization section, we have to speak with our students, or we have to impart. See, the tourism destination, tourism sector is asking the skilled manpower for digitalization of tourist destination. Digitalize digital platforms for sharing economy need for national cooperation. This is the system. We Tourism Innovation Summit is just it was conducted. This the kiosk machine is there. If a tourist wish to know what is in city or what is in taluka destination, on one mouse click or one screen touch, he come to know what are the important destinations. It is called kiosk. Role of media is very important to present secure our culture for future. Best source of presenting culture. Now, media, that is a social media. You can call it WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram. All these are there, and we know internet is important one. Television sector, newspapers, radio, magazines. Our strength Taj Mahal is there, Sanchi Stup is there, Fort is there, Gautam Buddha's destinations are there. So we have to highlight to attract the foreign delegation with us to promote all these things in a planned manner. And therefore, we have to explain ourselves that we must concentrate the strength of our country to attract the population. What are the key focus areas of mission? Again, sectoral skill mission. Then, how it is possible? Create synergy and engagement with industry, tourism development industry or tourist related industry, We have to make engagement with them. We suppose a travel agency is there and we are teaching certificate course of tourism to our students. We have to make engagement with them and to send our student as a guide or a tour operator like this. The next skills aspiration and advocacy, skill gap studies, skill development plans, enhance capacity and quality, placements, global partnership, ICT enablement, promoting inclusivity. So these are the various important sector where one can address the issues as a mission. Then what is the national mission on DMO? That is destination management. Sustainable growth of tourism. Again, the same thing. Effective destination management organization. DMO means destination management organization, building a tourism culture in the destination. Now coming to the local issues, where destination is there, touristic place is there, there we have to build our destination management organization, building a tourism sector in the destination. E-tourist visa, welcoming, safe, clean and hygienic destination. And our culture, Atiti Devo Bhava, the guest is God. Seamless connectivity and transport infrastructure, it is going on. Synergy in transport and tourism, enhancing visitor experiences. All these things are moving and we are taking as a national mission mode. And tourism, to develop tourist destination, we mostly concentrating on destination management organization. And therefore, multimodal of connectivity to major tourist destination is going on. So through the road network, rail network, air network, information and signage boards, feedback regarding travel experiences. The connectivity is going on, wayside amenities, eco-friendly transport. There is destination planning and development is very important, and it is going on in all our India's tourist destination. And even we are taking too much effort to develop all these things. Even there are challenges. So many challenges are there, but the rate of overcoming the challenges is very fast. It is positive sign of this one. And destination planning and development, again the same thing, special tourism zones we are making. Our ministry, central ministry is developing special tourism zones to promote world-class tourism infrastructure and services to attract not only tourists but private sector participation. Will develop through the special purpose vehicles. The special need is there to develop this special tourism zone. Promoting investment in tourism sector, again the public-private partnership, triple P, public-private partnership is very important slogan nowadays. And in each and every sector, this model is becoming very popular, and digital marketing is one of the important area. So Incredible India always taking help of digital marketing. And marketing and promotion is only possible due to the digital marketing. Coming to the domestic marketing, the important slogan is Dekho Apna Desh campaign, Padaro Rajasthan, Unlimited Maharashtra. These are the slogans. And state is also playing their important role to build a domestic tourist destination by giving funds to them also. Second part is research and development. As a we academicians, we put the research projects to the ICSR, UGC, even Tourism Ministry, Niti Aayog, various foundations of tourism places. We put the various research proposals in connection with the development point of view. And that too strategic research projects, collaboration and benchmarking of best practices, collaborating with universities, research dissemination to the industry and other stakeholders. Now government is asking, or our stakeholders are asking, your research must be linked with the industry, either tourism industry, transport industry. We must link our research with them. Then only we will receive some funding. And the specific objectives we are taking for the as a governance. Tourism, as you know, is a complex domain. It is not a single activity. It links with a n number of collaborations. So effective governance, product-specific roadmaps are important. Heritage and culture, spirituality, yoga, Ayurveda, holistic health system, wellness, medical tourism, meeting, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions, MICs. All these things are there, and we have to concentrate. Very important to explain our strength of our tourism in a particular way. Therefore, we concentrate domestic tourism from rural areas, village areas, farm, agriculture, agrotourism, plantation, beach tourism, island tourism, rivers, backwaters, hmm, resorts, casino, destination weddings, fairs and festivals, shopping. Hmm. These are the areas where we can concentrate. This COVID-19 is given an opportunity to reimagine the future of tourism, and government is doing this one. And just now I explained that today we visit any destination place, tourist destination, all are overcrowded. People are blocked in last 2 years, and immediately they explode theirs. And more explosion is there on all tourist destination. This is the scenario, and we are very lacking to provide the infrastructure for these overcrowded tourist destination, and there are n numbers of problems are facing by these destinations. We have better history of our own country, and it is need to highlight all these things. Ancient Indian civilizations, these are the important. As we discussed about the pro-poverty approach, how we are going to use this one. The small vendors are there. Suppose a coconut seller is there, flower stalls are there, auto rickshaws are there, private auto rickshaws are there. They are picking. They are giving their services to pick up the tourists from one place to another place within a destination, and they are earning some money, and they are taking benefit of this tourism industry, and therefore this tourism industry is now slowly moving towards the removal of poverty, and it is helping to our nation. As we know, cultural facets of our country is our strength. We explain cultural India, again the same strength. Cultural landscape, as we know, our Frederick Radziel has explained this definition very first time. These cultural differences of ideas, attitude, language, practices, institutions, structures of power in geographical areas. These are the cultural areas. In 1960-70, maybe one movie highlighting the importance of culture of Western culture and our Indian culture. We are best experience in that movie, and that called as Purab or Pashchim. It is picturized on Manoj Kumar. The cultural aspect, we just highlighted Northeast states, describe analyzing the ways, language, religion, how human functions spatially is very important. Cultural aspects, as we know, our Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam concept is come from there from old education system, Nalanda University, Takshila University, where having Gurukul ashramas, how it is important at that time. And now again, we are taking some initiatives from that one. And this new education policy 2020 is highlighting this multidisciplinary approach towards the education system. And also, we use this NEP in tourism building. The cultural change is taking place. We must think over on this. This cultural movement, now Western approach influencing Indian culture. You take this Diwali festival, we use the earlier small lamps in front of our home. It is made by the local people, Panti we can call, Akash Kandil, but now Chinese market, they are trapped our market. We have to think over this one. So lifestyle is also important. Our Indian culture is very important because Indian culture is related to Indian agriculture system. When we some festival like Makar Sankraman, Pongal, we use the production which is harvested in our agriculture farm, Tirugul, Makar Sankraman, Pongal. It is very important thing as a geographer. We must highlight our cultural traditions and the role of geographer, how it is linked to tourism development in our country. This new cultural aspects is emerging after 1980. So, particular area of interest is that of identity of politics and construction of identity. Nowadays, people are doing all these things. We know these are the various forms of music, various forms of dance practices in our country. Folk art, dance, patterns, these paintings, the art form of India are vast and varied out region to region. If you visit the Verur Ajanta, you see the various paintings where so many centuries still they are giving the brief narratives of that time. Folk art, see the paintings and what it is explaining. So this Western culture and our Indian culture, we must bring it in a now blended culture. We have to speak and we have to write on this issue. That is folk culture, art, Yakshagan, Bhangra, Lavani, Bihu Nritya. All these things is there and we have to highlight this cultural change. And this cultural change is now using the term by everywhere and repositioning of our culture from tourism development point of view. International Yoga Day is nothing but our traditional culture, what Patanjali has given to us, and various Gurukul ashrams. They were imparted very important skills to the students, and now the time has again come to the today's environment. We are moving towards that way. So examples of cultural exchange, inventions, technological change has broad impact on culture, social media, economic system is changing, GATS and GATS, globalization, the process of exchange, wars and disasters, ideas, rights and freedoms, laws, aesthetics. Hmm? These are the very important ways we must talk about our geography of religion, religious experiences and other benefits. These things we have to talk about how they are important from tourism development point. Suppose the river companies is there, how the tourism is developed there, Dattakalt, Triveni Sangam, Allahabad, Kumbh Melas, Varanasi, Amarnath Yatra, like this, Tirupati. So the geography of religion is nothing but key focus in the study of scared places in the politics of identity. Now, some way or the other way, politicians are taking this issue at their agenda. Religion, they are talking about religion. We know the Ayodhya issue is there, and therefore we must talk about this Ram Mandir issue like this. Geopolitical culture, multipolar, bipolar, unipolar power system is there, and this power system is playing very important. And coming to the resources for future well-being, where we can concentrate. Number one is natural capital. As a geographer, we must talk about our natural capital, that is digital environment, ecosystem services, how we can protect this eco-friendly tourist destinations. Again, our human capital, various skills, knowledge, experiences we must share for future well-being. Economic capital, income source, savings, intellectual property, like this. Social capital, relationship among people in the society. This is very important. Nowadays, social phenomena, social relationships are not so good in our country. So we have to think on this also for future well-being of our country. Hmm? So looking all these aspects, how tourism develops in our country, these are the various sectors we have to build purposefully, either it is economic sector, technological sector, demographic sector, social sector, or even in political sector. We must concentrate. These are the important areas we have to address properly from tourism development point of view, and therefore it is called the drivers of globalization. Drivers of globalization. Net benefit as far as economy is concerned, higher income, it reduces the poverty, better education it gives, in increased life expectancy, then improved government finances. So economic growth then taking place. Otherwise, it is hampered. Out of number of million development goals, this nine number industry, innovation, and infrastructure is related to tourism sector. So that nine number of Millennium Development Goal is taken by our Indian government and Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Road Transport, Ministry of Environment. All they are doing their best innovations in that sector and developing. What is best way of promote our India? We have great history, culture, ideology, and our great philosophers of their times. Tiruvallur, Gautam Buddha, Vishveshwara, Mahatma Vishveshwara, Swami Vivekananda, n number of great thinkers, philosophers of their time, and the world looking forward to us for their mental peace. The Indian culture, Indian philosophy is helping them, and we Indians are not taking it seriously. Now time has come to academicians to highlight all these issues, address properly how the thoughts by Gautam Buddha, thoughts by Mahatma Vishveshwara is helpful to today's life pattern. That is very important. What is important as a geographer, as a tourist expert? We are having grand narrations of our culture. Ramayana, Mahabharata, Ved, Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita. These are very important part of our life. And we, as a geographer, historical geographer, cultural geographer, social geographer, we must take the important issues and highlight these grand narratives, and the world is looking for it. Why? Because of our peaceful life. So our Buddhism philosophy, Vishveshwara's philosophy, philosophical thoughts by various Santa, saints, they are very important. We have to look towards this one, way forward. And my summary of presentation is that our country, that is India, is having multifaceted nation. Geographically, it is varied, culturally varied, economically, socially, it is variation is there. Therefore, it is multifaceted nation. Physical and human factors playing a key role. We must know our geographical factors is playing a important role. As far as cultural factors is required, language, religion, social caste, food, migration, history, political aspects are important in understanding it. So technology, globalization, new political and economic power is playing a key role in shaping the human life. So this WhatsApp, Facebook, social media is now shaping our human life. We are mostly depending on technology and globalization. Now I am giving this my presentation through use of technology. So this is the things are going around us, and we must consider the recent trends in tourism. One or the other way, one can think about all these things. So rethink about great Indian narratives. During pandemic, COVID pandemic, the world is looking for Indian culture. That is, our culture is Namaskar culture. And now this shake-hand culture is, due to the COVID pandemic, is not accepted. And therefore, we are promoting our best sign of Namaskar to global population. That is very important. And how it is putting the issue in a proper way. Not but least, just whatever discussions I have made, interacted with you, is nothing but some part of recent trends in tourism, not entire, some parts of recent trends in tourism. We have to pick up any one issue and we have to put it in a different way. How the tourism sector is important and what it is making its effort to highlight for the betterment of the society. So it is my appeal to all the delegates, participants, that our culture is our responsibility. So thank you one and all. I am very much thankful to my friend Satish Santosh Mane and the organizing authority, Principal Professor Dr. Haridas Rathurji, Principal Dr. Narendra Mani sir, Sambhaji College, Murud. Both colleges are affiliated to SRTM University Nanded. And last but not least, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya Institute and the important college which is giving the opportunity to us, that is Ramanujan College affiliated to University of New Delhi. And I am very much impressed by their grade. Ramanujan College is double plus, A double plus, a very excellent one. I personally congratulate the principal and the staff of Ramanujan College and the opportunity given to me to share my ideas regarding recent trends in geography in one of the important refresher course in geography. So thank you, one and all. Thank you.